All eyes are on 3i/Atlas right now for one reason. In the space of 48 hours, telescopes worldwide pivoted to a third interstellar visitor, triggered by a 1.4 magnitude brightness jump amateur astronomers caught and professionals couldn't explain. Mars orbiters burned precious fuel for unscheduled maneuvers. Deep Space Network antennas abandoned regular missions, and the International Astronomical Union convened an emergency session, just as scientists abruptly went silent online. Never before have so many independent anomalies converged so quickly on a single object. Is it raw cosmic coincidence, technical error, or evidence of something no one expected?
And we will hear testimony today concerning recent revelations about a purportedly secret UAP program whose existence and findings may have been improperly withheld from Congress. This is going to be the original document about Immaculate Constellation.
Those of us who've been following this very closely have been hearing whispers of the words Immaculate Constellation for a few months now.
The Immaculate Constellation, it's a UAP reconnaissance program. I can affirm this 100%.
What is in here is wild. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but reports of F-22s getting boxed in by flying orbs that they couldn't shake. There were satellite images or satellite image of a football field-sized flying saucer hiding in clouds.
I have personally walked people into members' offices for private meetings so they could see eye to eye and they could meet.
You are the author of what the world knows as the Immaculate Constellation Report.
It has been allowed to corrupt and infest every aspect of our society to serve the interests and whims of a very elite, select few. If it was just technology that we are worried about protecting and maintaining a military advantage, there's strong arguments to be made and have successfully been made for decades in this country that the American leadership and American people seem to be finding acceptable to be left in the dark about where science, technology, and their military is taking them. This isn't just technology. This isn't something somebody came up with in a lab and it's sensitive because once the cat's out of the bag, anybody can do it. Fundamentally, this comes from and is secondary to what we've been told is the biggest question, which is humanity alone? The answer is no. And the secrecy that has been defended is at the cost of, in my mind, human dignity, freedom, and progress. And it is no longer permissible or acceptable in my mind to continue this course, to deprive another generation of not just Americans, but humanity of their birthright to know who they are, where they came from, and what's with us.
Can you give us a general description of the size of the secrecy apparatus? We're going to drill down into this, of course, about IMCON, and one particular facet of the secrecy that you came across and other parts of it. But how big of a secrecy apparatus is it? How many stovepipes are there? How many people are involved in different ways of keeping this secret, confusing the public, lying to Congress, lying to the world?
Simply put, it's a parallel reality. The secrecy apparatus is all pervasive. It is not just in the intelligence community governing their world. It's not just in the military protecting their operations. It's not protecting our diplomats and leaders as they conduct their work, sometimes in very dangerous places. It has been allowed to corrupt and infest every aspect of our society to serve the interests and whims of a very elite, select few.
And it's been used to intimidate, threaten, destroy the lives of people like yourselves who have been doing their job, keeping their oaths, trying to protect their country, being true to humanity, and have paid prices for it.
Absolutely.
This has been a difficult process for you, for me and you, kind of going through this. I've seen what you've gone through personally with this. You're taking a personal hit, like a painful risk, just talking to us, just doing this finally after all this time. I think I understand why. You're explaining something philosophical, what you believe about the secrecy, just personally. What is the step for you to do this? Like, why? I need to understand why. Why are you telling this to everybody
Now.
There's no short answer. It's something, I have many, not even competing, but parallel motivations. But why now? Look out at the world. Look inside our country. We are not headed to a good future.
You're concerned.
I am.
Explain the concern.
Ultimately, my biggest fear is what humanity will do to itself out of fear and greed, and what we have done. And we have built a prison around ourselves. It's invisible, but it's not complete. And there is still time to maybe alter our trajectory, have a different future. May not be the best one that we had hoped for, but it's going to be damn sight better than what they have planned for us.
There's no going back after you tell us this on camera. We had this conversation. This is it. This is the line in the sand. You're about to cross over here.
Absolutely. I am, on a personal level, giving up the future that I made for myself and was going to try to make for a family. I'm proud of what I accomplished in my time in government, and it's painful to leave the good people there and to know that there really isn't room for people to act according to their conscience and our constitutional ideals on the inside.
Is it your belief, based on materials, things that you've been exposed to, that you've seen, people you've talked to, communicated with over a period of a couple of years, is it your belief that the technology, the race for the technology, the understanding of the big secret is entirely in the hands of people outside the government and not for the benefit of the public or to protect American national security? It's in some other realm, in some other hands.
I think it's a mix. I think our military, has a long historic involvement in this. So does our intelligence community and our scientific academic community. We have, as a country, allowed ourselves to be penetrated, co-opted, and corrupted by an internationalist force that serves their interests and views nations, peoples as tools and means to an end.
Like a business cabal, international corporations that have no loyalty to any nation, let alone this one.
That's a large part of it. I think we have to go above that too, to start to explain the degree of the level of deception and the level of commitment they've had to maintaining that deception. It's above just monetary gain and power. They're afraid.
George and I have talked about whistleblowers that come to us and we protect them. We don't often report on when people come to us. We're doing this now. What are the repercussions? People talk about whistleblowers being afraid. And there's one set of being afraid, which is when you're squeezed by outside entities, that are fucking with you, which has happened to you. And we'll talk about that. But what are the legal implications of what you're about to talk to us today? Tell me the gravity right now. What are you facing? I want our audience to understand what it means for you to talk to us right now. What could happen to you?
My hope is that the stakes are not paid out, but they are life imprisonment and the possibility of execution.
And you've tried all the right ways. I've helped you on some of it. You have tried all the right ways to do this, but you have something much bigger that is pushing on you, that you have to take this next step forward. And so now, I just want people to understand where you're coming from. When we say we protect whistleblowers, when people come to us, not everybody goes on camera, but also just you work currently in Department of State, but maybe he should tell us his history.
Yeah, let's do chronological. So you got a degree in what?
So I got a degree in international affairs, came out to DC, started working in a small think tank. From there, I applied to and was accepted to a intelligence agency ended up taking a job at the Pentagon, basically waiting for the right opportunity for that world to pop up. Which when it did, I was having too much fun, so I said no.
You're in the Pentagon. Weapons of mass destruction is a general umbrella under which you're working. You got a security clearance at that point?
Yeah, I had been cleared by DIA for a top secret SCI clearance.
You get to see, I guess, firsthand all this different information that comes in from all over these places, different platforms, right? Mm-hmm. You're exposed to that, and you get an idea of just how big that apparatus is.
Yes, absolutely. UFOs and aliens aside, it's a different world without anything exotic in it when you are exposed to that information and learning over time, not just from the intelligence, but the experiences of the people around you, because not everything that's true and has happened in the world is written down on paper.
I mean, you're given a lot of roles and responsibilities that gives you access to very sensitive information. When you said SCI, that's secret compartmentalized information is the acronym.
Sensitive compartmentalized information.
Yeah, it's probably right.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you are a sane human being. You're given a lot of these responsibilities. I just think it's important for people to understand. So you have access to very critical information through the United States government that's separate from the UFOs and the alien, topic that we're going to talk about.
For the world.
For the world.
The U.S. and the world.
Yes.
And that weighs heavy on you, I'm sure. Like you're really looking to defend the United States of America where you live, and you are looking at information that is just highly sensitive. I think it's important for people to know. Good people like you doing great jobs in there. You had access and responsibilities. People trust you. That's you can't get there without that.
It is it's a very burdensome role. I feel deeply for the people who have been there for many years. There's a lot of hidden suffering that comes from it, but it is I thought it was a noble and good mission. I still do.
And risks. I imagine there's all kinds of information that comes across your desk and that desk of other people you're working with at that point about weapons of mass destruction, the movement of nuclear weapons, or suddenly material that disappears and where did it go? Black market, biological weapons research, things that are going on around the world that we need to keep an eye on, right? Yeah. And things that never make the news.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. There is, like I said, there is there's many worlds, there's many shells to our reality that the public, including our professional media class, our professional academic class, our political class, has absolutely no idea exists. And if they do have an idea, they have a very distorted one, sometimes intentionally so.
I mean, you're not like some secret agent. You're not like some CIA secret agent. So people understand when you're working at the Pentagon is where we're at in the thing. I mean, we have a lot of great people that are bright-minded, working on these problems for the United States, keeping the United States safe, looking at geopolitical aspects of nuclear weaponry, that kind of thing. But just to be clear, I mean, you're not like some secret agent with more access than anybody else or anything like that.
No, I never wanted to be a field officer. I danced with the idea in my dreams maybe and read the books, but I knew that wasn't for me, especially the task and the cost of befriending and manipulating and ultimately using people. I don't think I would have been very good at that.
Like human intelligence.
Correct.
And false friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does that stuff come across your desk? Human intelligence, signals intelligence regarding weapons of mass destruction?
All sources intelligent. All sources of intelligence. And if there are questions, you can go ask them and usually get the answers.
And the kinds of things that you see that come across your desk, does it give you pause? How am I going to sleep tonight knowing that this XYZ is going on somewhere? At times when they think, holy crap, how did this happen?
Everyone has like their different standard of what's going to, shake them like that. And I've definitely had a few of those. I won't share them, but.
Yeah, but I mean, just with security, for national security kind of stuff.
Right. Stuff unrelated to exotic things that are very.
Just world out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're there for a while. You do that for how many years?
I was in there a little over 4 years, but I was in the Pentagon a little over 5 because I moved out of there briefly into the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence, and a smaller office in there.
We've heard of that office.
We have heard of that office.
Was it a different sort of work or the same thing, just for a different boss?
Same field, different work, different boss, different community.
So you're working for a contractor, but you're working at the Pentagon on Pentagon business, and that's sort of a model that is used for all kinds of programs, right?
Yeah, that's the industry in DC.
Is that to have a buffer of some sort? Why is that necessary?
Well, you have government management, and they're supposed to be the ones that, they sign the checks, make the final decisions, but yet most of the staff is contractors, military people on detail, people on fellowships from, either think tanks or universities.
So you get to be familiar with stovepipes and how, you could be working on this and the guy may be in the office next to you or the desk next to you is working on something else and you don't know what they're working on.
Yeah, I mean, it can be that way. My experience was more that we had a team. It was all more or less on the same information level, but then there'd be other teams that, they have their own. So it's not quite as isolated. I've heard from others, it can be just, it's you and no one else around you knows what you're doing.
You got a company, it's a contractor that's working there in the Pentagon. How much oversight is there from the actual Pentagon, the military, of a contractor's work?
Well, I mean, the day-to-day is overseen by the government. So in that sense, it's there.
And is that generally true for all the contractor programs that we'll be getting into later? That somebody in the military or IC is looking at what that contractor does?
No, I couldn't say.
Right?
Yeah, I could not say.
We got the 1 degree, and then you went on to try to get a master's.
Yeah, I went to George Washington University, Master's of Security Policy Study. Got to the point where I had a thesis to submit, and then I started working at the Pentagon. Took a break and kind of got caught up in the churn, as the term is.
Right. I'm curious about just what it's like to work at the Pentagon. I mean, to think you're driving to work. There it is, the heart and soul of the national security of our country. You're doing important work, weapons of mass destruction in the biggest office building in the world. I would think there'd be a lot of satisfaction in that. But I wonder what day-to-day is like. Are you under surveillance? Do you have to do polygraphs? Can you tell your wife what you're doing? Do you socialize with colleagues, or do you have to worry about what you say to whom and where?
Yeah, so I mean, starting with the first part, I think for me at least, it was I finally made it, right? I'm working at the Pentagon. It's cheesy, but I felt pride pretty much every single day that I rolled in there.
That's not cheesy. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was very fortunate to join an office that cared a lot about their people, not just their performance at work, but their goals, their desires, and how they were getting on with life in general. Fewer places are like that, but I look back on that time with a lot of happiness.
How do things begin to sour? Is it because of this topic that we're going to discuss?
Yes.
Let's take it from there. When does that start? What's your first exposure?
I mean, were you like a UFO guy, like before all that? I mean, like there's something that happened, and there's always an instigator, right? But it's like, were you like a UFO guy all your years back, or?
To some degree, I've always been interested in aliens and UFOs, secret histories, the things that are hidden from us. It's been a lifelong kind of passion. It's not always aliens, While I was always interested in these things, they were only a realm of possible. And when I looked at UFOs in a serious way, as I was more in my college years, I got just not exposure, but started learning about the sort of ecosystem of secrecy in the military-industrial complex, what SAPs are, what CAPs are, and you start to realize, there's a good chance a lot of what these UFO things are some really cool stuff that we have, whether it's in the air, under the water, or right in front of you.
You're not getting a job at the Pentagon until you want to get access to the UFO scene.
No. When I joined, I thought, I'd pretty much locked down that, there might be life out there, but most of what we're seeing in the skies at that time, I thought was either ours or ally or adversary.
You don't go over the deep end. You're not going to MUFON conferences.
No.
You're not wearing a beanie and alien stuff on your head.
No. In fact, I would be looked at like I had a third eye just by suggesting they were stealth satellites.
I mean, in fact, like you've never been to like a UFO conference or anything like that, have you?
No.
Right, that's not your style.
No.
You're a very analytically minded person. It's something I've learned. I bet you're fucking really good at your job because just the way our communications, the way you deep dive into research, that's a talent to be able to pull big source information, all source information, and kind of come to conclusions. That is one of your skill sets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever work
college.
9 to 5? Because you're kind of a workaholic, right? And you go over the top.
Yeah. I really liked the Pentagon. I learned an immense amount there, and I would stay there till the wee hours of the morning, learning.
Which is also how you found out information about the topic we're going to discuss.
I delved too deeply.
And you came across this sort of accident?
100% accidentally. Sorry. The Immaculate Constellation piece of this, 100% accidentally. Before I was exposed to that, I had seen UAP on military videos in the Pentagon, but nothing that suggested, origin, intent, or in the level of detail that, I came to find later.
So explain that to the average, like, how do you just come across UFO videos in the Pentagon? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Tell somebody who has no idea how that happens.
So you have a clearance and there's a secret internet. And on that secret internet, there's just a generic access like you and I. It's all very secret, sensitive stuff, but more or less everyone can look at what's on there. Then, you have on this secret internet, some compartmentation, light compartmentation, as it were. And then there's entirely different systems for truly sensitive stuff. But the point is that there is essentially, a shared community of knowledge, and it goes back, just like our own internet, it goes back over decades.
If you have a top secret clearance, you go on JWICS, you can pretty much go and see whatever is on there, except for special compartmentalized stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Or things that, are just people protect their business processes.
So who would be putting UFO type or UAP videos on there? How does that happen? How do they end up there?
Service members and intelligence officers who, for one reason or another, decided to put that footage there.
What's the first UFO video you see? What'd you think of it? Or military film footage of a UFO. What did you, what was that like?
Well, technically, the first true military footage that I saw was that Tic Tac video and the Go Fast video, and I think there was one other else, the Gimbal video that all came out in 2017. Granted, I didn't see those on military systems, but just being precise here.
Yeah.
And so things that I saw after that kind of looked like all that, but just much more duration. The videos, it's the internet, whether it's secret or not, there's compression, there's upload and file sizes. So some things are crystal clear, but it's only 15 seconds. Some things you can see 45 minutes of something moving around, but it's kind of blurry because that's a lot of data.
So you've seen crystal clear at times videos of what appear to be, would you say, non-human intelligence made craft? I mean, what you see evidence that the rest of the world doesn't get to see. Mm-hmm. That starts happening.
Yeah. Nothing in those videos necessarily proves it's extraterrestrial or non-human. It certainly is anomalous, exotic, and unexplainable.
And advanced.
Yes.
Beyond our capabilities that you know of?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it might have been within our capabilities to replicate, even in an inferior manner. Mm-hmm. But quite a lot of it is, it's either something else or we live in a world where we have been left behind.
2017, these stories come out, New York Times and other media. The videos become known. That sparks your curiosity and you start looking around for that kind of stuff? Or it would just come across your desk and in front of your eyes naturally.
Yeah, so not looking for that stuff.
Did you have access to live feeds?
Yes.
So live feeds, real time, you could go into like a Reaper drone and see if there's something going on. Just, I mean, not that you're specifically looking for UFOs, but you had access even to live feeds.
Yeah, not anything special, no special access, but you know where those resources are. You can go look at them, and I did.
I want to go back to this. You said with these nuclear facilities, nuclear weapons, nuclear labs, nuclear power plants, that within a year or two, like, are you saying all of them get visited, or there's some strange phenomena?
I can't say that they all do, but I would suspect that, anything that is sufficiently nuclear will draw attention at some point and will be they will be encountering this.
And what are they? What are you seeing? What kinds of things are you seeing?
So, I mean, nothing too dramatic when it comes to like these facilities. A lot of times it's orbs of, it's hard to always judge the size, but I'd be surprised if it's bigger than a Cessna. Probably something somewhere in between. Whether it's white or silverish, or if you're looking through different sensor apparati, it'll look like whatever hot or cold is. But usually orbs around these facilities, sometimes things that look a bit more irregular, but the vast majority being orbs.
I mean, the world's been exposed to some of this. There's been a clarification to the general public about what are you seeing when you're seeing infrared or FLIR. It takes some translation. There are people that focus on that, like they can read that. But basically, you're looking at things that don't have flight control surfaces, that don't have traditional propulsion. They seem to tag along, which we've heard forever, with nuclear events, that kind of thing, nuclear structure. But you see a lot of these, start getting exposed to them. I mean, just to begin, doesn't that start to kind of feed that curiosity in you? You just all of a sudden, the average person, but you're now seeing stuff that you can't.
Yeah, you have to be a special kind of boring to not be interested after seeing those things. It's shocking, especially knowing the context of what you're looking at.
Right, which you get when you have those systems that can look at that.
100%.
If you enjoyed today's video on Anonymous Official, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching and sticking with us.